As the rest of the world celebrate the first day of the new year, troubled UPDF General David Sejjusa appears a troubled man as he moves to say no to summons by the president to meet him at his country home in Rwakitura on the 2nd of January.
This is a man who is in charge of the state, and ordinarily there are three things. You either go to such a meeting to do one of the following: reconcile, or apologize, or agree to disagree. Now, reconciliation is not an option for me now. Apology is not an option for me now. So that leaves one option: agreeing to disagree. But I must be very careful how I do this, because to agree to disagree with the head of state, there are consequences. I want to be sure that when I advance those issues, I'm safe. Of course, they can arrest me wherever they want.
The general says a number of issues have to be resolved before he consents to a meeting in the presence of his lawyers in the full public glare.
So people should never use fear to challenge power, because power without legitimacy and power not backed by moral right is useless.
Sejjusa says he's still demanding answers to what he calls a number of attempts on his life while in exile.
I was hunted down on the streets of London by government agents. Seriously. And I had to be put under protection. These are issues that have to be resolved. Who was hunting me down? Before these issues are resolved, these are issues of security. It can't be business as usual.
The general, once a powerful power broker, returned into the country after several months in exile, a situation he says makes the president's scheduled meeting non-practical.
That's why raw power without legitimacy is in vain. Raw power without legitimacy is in vain. So you can see a government, it can trash you. You should never fear. I tell Ugandans that they should not fear about a government. You see, I was telling my friends that if you have a grandmother who comes and abuses you, and you're a massacre man, like I see some of you here, and you beat her and strip her, you have the power, but she has the moral power over you.
The troubled general also reveals what he calls a plan to incarcerate him with the detention center reportedly under renovation.
My lawyers told me how they are preparing to arrest me. I want to assure the country that I'm not running away. I'm not afraid. They can go ahead and do what they want. They are the state. But right will ultimately triumph.
Since his return to the country, Sejjusa's moves have appeared suspicious to many who have questioned his political leaning.
Having been away for 2 years, there is something which I can say that de jure, as a matter of law, I'm an officer of UPDF. But de facto, the circumstances have changed. Someone who has been away for 2 years, quarreling with the same authorities, you cannot pretend that it is business as usual. There is a fundamental contradiction about my legal status vis-a-vis my de facto status.
Sejjusa also broke the silence on the details of his application for retirement that he says was received by the authorities on the 30th of last month. He quotes long service, injuries sustained during the 1986 Liberation War, and the desire to pursue his own goals as grounds for his retirement request.
Because the president himself is retired. What is the point? What is the problem? General Salim Saleh is retired. Major General Chargonzi is retired. Everybody is retired. What's so special about not retiring? As a matter of fact, some people can say, yeah, maybe you will not be retired because of indiscipline. If I remember well, it's on record, the president of Uganda said that he retired General Saleh because of indiscipline. He said, because of indiscipline and he committed some crimes, I retired him from the army. So in NRA and UPDF, by precedence, indiscipline can also be part of the reasons for retirement.
General Sejjusa's desire, however, faces a huge legal bottleneck, considering that the UPDF Act put the retirement at the discretion of the High Command, with the retirement age for a four-star general of Sejjusa's caliber set at 65, 5 years more than his current age. David Sejjusa, Television.